chose me. God chose me to be my daughter's reflection, and I knew I had to do something different. My name is Raioni Madison-Jones. I am a mother, an educator, and a firm believer in being the change that you want to see in the world. I never imagined that I would walk out of high school into motherhood. I mean, a lot of times I was trying to balance, even if I should finish my education, have a full-time job, and trying to be a mom. I mean, it's hard. Struggling, trying to figure out safe and affordable childcare, as well as keeping the roof over my head. I had great mentors, and I had people that poured into me and influenced me. And I would not be the woman standing before you today if it was not for them.
All right, what is up, everybody? We are here at Slight Work, and I'm your girl, T. Marie.
And I'm Deb.
And we have Raioni here with us, you guys.
Hey.
So
we got a queen in the building, y'all.
yes, queen.
And I'm gonna tell you why Ms. Raioni is a queen. Because she's helping young queens understand that they are young queens.
Yes.
I love that.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well,
3D.
Well, 3D Girls Inc. is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and I started about 7 years ago with a group of girls. I worked in a school as a graduation coach and an advisor, and so I got a group of girls together, and we just hung out, and we started doing things together, and we started building a rapport. And what I realized is that there is a lack of exposure among inner city kids, and so it was my job, or what I felt my purpose, to go ahead and expose them to a lot of things that they may not have been exposed to previously. So, and it's just been going on since. So how long ago was that? 7 years. So in 2012, May 2012, we started, celebrated our anniversary. And it's been a definitely a growing process.
Right.
In working with young women. I started it with intentions of giving back because I had great mentors and people in my life to help build on what it is that, I was doing. I was a young mom, and so with that, going to school, trying to figure out what to do with my life, working, it was just really hard to balance. So
Yes.
I realized how good it was to have such great people in my life. And so when you say you started out 7 years ago and you were working in the school system and everything, and you were starting 3D, did you have anybody there helping you along the way, or was it just you? No, it was more like a hobby. Okay. It wasn't something that I thought about being an entrepreneur endeavor. It wasn't something that I thought would be, it was just something that I felt in my heart that I needed to do. Yeah, and I enjoyed doing it, and I was really passionate about it. And these girls, I watched them grow. They started off in 8th grade now. Yes. They're in college. Wow. They have jobs. Some of them are parents. And, being able to connect with them and watch them grow through their developmental stages has been something that has fulfilled me.
You're like a little young Oprah.
That's what I'm talking
the kids to college,
right.
And okay.
I know, right? Don't Oprah got that school.
One day. Absolutely, especially if you believe that. I think that it's so important for us to follow our passions.
Yes.
Because you speak about this and it just rolls off of your tongue so easily.
Really?
Yes, it does. And you smile while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? There's been things that I've gotten myself into. I'll be like, yeah, I do that. But like so many entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. With 3D, let us know some of the things that you do with the girls.
Right. So we have 3 programs within 3D Girls. So when we started the organization, like I said, it was just a mentoring program where we just kind of meet up, hang out, talk about college, talk about self-esteem, talk about self-worth, those types of things. And then it started to develop. As I saw fit, as some of the girls went to college, that was my time to like, okay, so what's next? Because I literally, kind of took them in and followed them. And then now it's like,
they off into
y'all
the world
in the world now. And so I started exploring other ventures. And so with that, I've always wanted to start a teen parenting program because I was a young mom, and I've told my story before. But I wanted to do something for that, and so we started doing community baby showers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a young mom working, going to school, what I found is a lot of times when young mothers are preparing to have a baby, they really aren't preparing for a baby. In a critical time, you're thinking about what you're going to do with your life, how you're going to take care of the child. And so where,
those day-to-day necessities.
The day-to-day necessities. And so I remember how difficult that could be for me. And my partner at the time, who is a little bit older than me, she was also a teen mom. And so we kind of linked up and had this idea to do a program for teen moms. And I said, well, what a way to get them in and let them know about what we're doing. Let's host a community baby shower. People that I knew, community organizations, and we started getting all the supplies. And so we invited about 10 to 15 moms to the first one, and it was great. We gave away a car seat, strollers.
Car seat.
We had
expensive too. That's hard to get.
Right.
Yeah, you see that on the registry, you'd be like, okay, Pampers.
Where the bottles at?
Right. Bottles, bills.
That's the thing. These girls don't even understand the concept of registering, right?
Exactly.
People who are established and who have the capacity to prepare for a baby will plan a registry, will know some of the things that they need. And so when we do the community baby showers, it's emotional, but it's also an opportunity for them to feel joy and for them to get excited about it. A lot of them can't have the elaborate baby showers, gender reveals and things like that. So we bring that to the community to kind of get them excited about it. And then afterwards, they have connections to our team who provides one-on-one coaching and financial literacy, as well as just resources that are available in the community. And so what started off as this great endeavor to get people together, give away diapers, a community outreach effort, has become an opportunity for us to educate parents on things. And so we do CPR training, we talk about breastfeeding, and just a whole bunch of things that we find out that are available to the community.
Saying, I love that you guys are doing more than just giving things away. You're helping to build self-esteem, which a lot of, not even just young girls, but a lot of people, there's a lack self-esteem.
That's a great point, so I love that you're doing that as well. Was that your initial thoughts when starting this? No, you just wanted to start?
Not at all. And I think that's what's so great about, having an entrepreneur spirit. It's like you just have to start. And you never know what that seed could produce. You never know what's going to come about it. And even with that, and starting the baby showers, from that we started doing these great paint parties that kind of evoke social and emotional connectedness. And so what we found out in research, and even with the suicide rates being extremely high here in Georgia among young people, these paint parties that we developed off as a educational program. It was an idea that I had to integrate STEM, because by trade, I'm a science teacher.
So, I was terrible in science.
I love science, and those are my favorite type of students, right?
The illiterate one. Like me. So let us know, Ray, like where, I know that there may be a lot of people out here who loves what you do. I love what you do. How would one go about getting funding for this? Because it seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. I left my job full-time in February.
Wow.
So I left the classroom back in February. Like I said before, this was a hobby for me. This is just something that I was passionate about, and I'm like, I've been doing this for 7 years. It is a nonprofit, but I'm not producing profits to support the efforts. Like a lot of this stuff came out of pocket, to be perfectly honest. Things that I felt like I had to do as an individual, or I'll say, hey friend, can you donate a pack of diapers, or in-kind donations from people who saw what was going on, people reaching out on social media, say, how can I support? And that's just been how it's been moving.
But I guess just a little snippet or story. So how I met Raioni. Well, we first were following. Oh, I was following you, stalking you through Instagram. And that's what you have to do. It's okay. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was stalking her on Instagram, and then I was volunteering at a festival. And who comes walking through the door as one of these speakers, or I guess a Shark, like it was like a Shark Tank style competition.
Oh, okay.
And she was presenting her idea, and when I say she got up there and killed it, she was the first person to go up there and present her idea, and I was like, she is not nervous. Like, why was she playing me back there?
It was just like work.
Exactly. It was like work. Right.
But no.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I was like, man, like to get to see someone go up there and like truly speak on their cause and their passion was really, really like awesome for me to see, at least. And so then to have you sitting here is even better. Like, you know, you're continuing your journey, and I love it.
Yes, it's definitely a full circle experience. I don't think 7 years ago I could have gone on that stage and, you know, really been able to share my story to get support. Like, I've always done everything on my own.
Right.
And so for the past 6-7 months that I've been an entrepreneur, it's like, you're not by yourself.
Right.
Like, really take advantage of the opportunities. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to tell your story. It's okay.
Yeah.
And so I was truly nervous because I'd never been on a platform like that. I've never been able to, but I do believe that God had been preparing me for a significant amount of time to just go ahead and be able to tell my story. There's things that I've had to go through in order to be confident enough to tell my story. So I do feel like, you know, it's a full circle moment. And so now it seems a little bit easier each time I get to talk about it, which is this platform is so important for entrepreneurs because a lot of people don't get to tell their story. Everybody sees Instagram starting a business. They think it's so easy.
Oh my God,
And it's not. Like, you really have to devote the time and the energy. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from social media. You have to give yourself space and credit for the things that you have accomplished.
Right.
Because if you don't, you know, you'll be succumb to all the things, depression, anxiety, fear,
you're
doubt.
going after the likes and what everybody else wants to see instead of doing what you need to be doing for your business. That is an awesome message. I love it.
And I don't always knock. I totally agree with what you're saying. And because that wasn't your niche. Like, you weren't looking for likes and look at someone else's alleged success and think like, God, I've been working at this for 7 years and it's just like I don't have half the likes that they have.
And a lot of times it's not success. It's not what it appears to be.
Right.
A lot of times in philanthropy, I can speak on that because that's the work or the field that I'm in.
Right.
I completely hate seeing people of stature or who are, you know, who have been successful go back and just like do it for the gram, basically.
Right.
Like, I never wanted to be an organization that is not sustainable, which is why it's probably taken me so long to like really push some of the initiatives that I have because I'm all about impact and I'm all about changing lives and I'm all about seeing the impact and making sure that it's measurable. A lot of people have great initiatives, but you know, it's just a holiday give back, or it's just when you really could be doing transformative work by linking up with a whole organization that's doing this year round. And so not to discredit anyone who loves to give back, but the presence of social media creates this
glamorous,
like it's supposed
falsified world.
Yes. And so there are people in the world that really just need support. Somebody that just really needs a connection versus a like.
So let's get into that because I mean, like you said, this has been a 7-year run. What are some of the things that you've run into as an entrepreneur or, you know, an owner of a nonprofit? Like, what were some of the biggest hurdles you had to get over other than funding? Even if it sounds like it's a very big piece, but what were other things that you had to kind of tackle?
Yeah, I think, you know, everybody wants to help. It's a good idea. It's a good, you know, but it's not their work.
Right.
And so you have to give people time and space to help. So I've had a lot of people who have wanted to volunteer, not show up, or have a commitment and, you know, their life path change and it kind of disrupts the organization or the building of the organization. And so over time, I've learned how to weed out those people.
Right.
And, well, if I need help, I need diapers, wipes, or if I need you to be at a space or an event, I have this time, date, just so I don't get my feelings hurt.
Exactly,
Like being
right.
organized enough to say this is what I need help with. And I think that's very important with being a nonprofit. You can't receive help if you don't know what you need.
Yes,
So that
yeah.
even takes time to like evaluate what it is that you're doing to make sure that it's important enough to, you know, organize it so that nothing goes without being serviced or there's nothing that goes undone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tell us about the day. I know that you mentioned you're about 6-7 months in, like with quitting your job, your bread and butter. You know how that. Tell me about that day that you put those 2 weeks in, or that come to Jesus moment
I
where you
think this is
said,
something everybody envisions
Yeah.
themselves doing, like
Right.
walking in
Right,
with their
right.
headphones.
You know
I mean, you
what?
know, they stereo blasting some music, jumping on the deck.
I wish it was like that. I wish it was like that. Honestly, in December, you know, we go out for holiday break. Well, a week before holiday break, they had this big meeting about budget cuts. And they communicated to us that each school will have to get rid of 3 teachers. So the content that I was teaching was not a tested content, meaning that they are not measured. The state is not measured by that particular content. And so I was at risk of losing my job. And so the whole Christmas break, single mom, I'm thinking about, you know, what am I going to do? Because at the end of the school year, they communicated that I would not be there. And I had a choice to take a severance package and da-da-da-da. So the whole 2 weeks of my winter break was absolutely just not enjoyable because that's all I thought about.
I can imagine.
And so when I came back to work, the day before I came back to work, I got an email. I got accepted to this fellowship program. I'm a Teach for America alum. And from that, I was nominated to apply for a social innovation fellowship. And so social innovation is really about social entrepreneurial causes. And I honestly forgot that I applied. This was like back in September. And January 1st, 2nd, I got the email. And I was like, okay. So it's like a 4-week, the initial part was a 4-week commitment. And it was like coursework, classes, videos, online meetups. It was like a great experience to expose you. And then a couple weeks later, I got accepted into the extension program. And so the extension program was about 4 months. It's a 4-month commitment. And I knew in the mental and emotional state that I was in, being at work, knowing that would not be lasting longer than the end of school year. Like, what am I doing, God? Okay? Like, I really had to shut down. I started fasting. And I remember it was a Friday afternoon, and I was literally sitting at my desk at 6 o'clock in the evening on a Friday, trying to fill my lesson plans in, and I'm crying. Like, I can't do this. This is not what I want for myself. This is not what I want. I shouldn't feel this way. My kids are waiting for me to pick them up, and I just don't feel well. And I just heard really clearly, like, let it go.
Wow.
Let it. And it was like, God didn't speak to me anymore, but it was just like, you know what to do.
Exactly.
You don't play me. Exactly. And so the next Monday I came in. We have a weekly meeting with my manager. She's giving me all these tasks and things to do. And she's like, you okay? And I was like, yes, I'm fine. But, you know, February 1st is going to be my last day.
Come on now.
And she was like, everybody was like really, really like upset. But I knew I could not go forward with this fellowship and do it with fidelity if I didn't let go of that job. And the great thing about it is I'd established a culture with a group of the girls. So I would still come back each week to work with the girls through my nonprofit. And so that was still my way of connecting, but I knew God had something that he was working on me with. And
so as a business owner, and you're clearly doing all that you can to help the community, what's one of the things that you'd like to see changed as far as how we, as far as how young women in these conditions are perceived? Or is there anything that you just notice is common or like a pattern as far as when you're helping, like that's a something that you wish you could dismantle as far as how?
If I had the power, the mindset of poverty. Just because you come from a certain place doesn't mean you have to present yourself or like knowing, well, I this is where I come from, this is where my mama did it, my grandma. So the generational thought of, you know, just staying in the same space or not getting outside of your community enough to learn about the opportunities. I know people who've never rode MARTA, who've never, you know, been other places in the city, you know. One thing I love and appreciate about my parents is that they found ways to make it work, expose us to stuff. And my mom is an educator as well, so she constantly like told us crazy facts and would tell us, you know, it was just like little things that they would do, but we weren't rich or we didn't have money. We stayed in the hood too, but it was just how my parents raised us to learn. Like we were constantly learning, and so to know that I was like, y'all never been ice skated before? Right. We're going. We're going. This is not. You know, we've been to Cascade and we've been. No, this is not Golden Glide. We're going ice skating, and so to know that, you know, they were exposed to that. Because of the mentors associated with the organization, it's just like, you know, I feel like I said, that small bit of influence is there.
And helping break that cultural stigma that, you know, black people don't go ice skate. Yeah. Yes, we do. We might go. We might not be good at it, but we go. I ain't gonna lie. I almost cut somebody's neck off when I was ice skating.
I'm telling you, picking them girls up.
What do you see for the future of 3D?
Man, it's so big. It's so big. Like, it's so big right now. I'm working on a project. The cause that is associated with the State Farm grant is called the Rose House. And it's a maternity home. And what maternity homes are essentially like a group home, but for transient mothers who are in need of stability. And so if you think about the rate of teenage pregnancy, it has gone down. However, as an educator, I look at the social and emotional impacts that affect a child's success rate. So if we look at the graduation rates here in Atlanta, if we look at the literacy rate here in Atlanta, they all can be linked back to teen pregnancies, moms who are parents at a young age are less likely to finish school. So there are so many things that impact the successful raising of children when there are so many social and emotional barriers. And so looking at that, I feel that my next move is are educating and empowering moms to be advocates for themselves and empowering them to take a stand on their health, their wealth, and everything in between. And so, we're raising money for this facility.
Y'all hear that? Pull your credit cards out.
Yes. And
send her some cash apps.
I would actually like on behalf of Slight Work, like I would love to assist, like maybe come and to one of your functions and volunteer.
Absolutely. So our next big event is October 19th.
Okay.
It is my birthday.
Oh,
so yay! I'm doing it big. We're doing a community baby shower. We haven't done one since May because my partner put the date on the calendar. It's like, we're gonna do it this day. I was like, that's my birthday.
She said, okay, Ann. Happy birthday.
So at our community baby showers, I know that our communicated that we educate women on certain things. Our topic will be child seat safety. A lot of times kids are out of their car seats. Parents don't realize that there has to be a certain proximity between the child and the straps. And so we have some volunteers coming to teach that training. But as far as, you know, supporting moms, we're going to do diapers, wipes, and all the fun stuff. But we want to give away 40 car seats.
Yeah, that's
in honor
dope.
of my birthday.
Yeah, put these kids in car seats. I'm tired of seeing these little bad kids up in this river like this on the highway.
So are there any restrictions as far as like girls that you won't help or take in, or what's like the requirements, or you just take everybody? Like...
Right. So we don't have an intake process right now for our program. If you're interested in the one-on-one coaching, you must be present at one of the community baby showers. And so we do intake there where we kind of figure out your story. And then from there, who would be either myself or Miss Mary, who is my partner in the work, to go through the curriculum, which is built on integrity, commitment, and empowerment. And so if you are a new and expectant mom, you're more than welcome to hang out with us at the community baby shower. We have 35 slots available. I know I said 40 car seats, so 40 slots available.
Okay.
Because our last goal was 35, and so we pushed it up to 40. So 40 slots available for new and expectant moms that have not been a part of our network before. We want to reach out to new moms. Okay. And
if you could give advice to someone who's looking to do something like what you're doing, just even a nonprofit, just an upcoming entrepreneur, what would you tell them?
I would first, more than anything, I feel like you have to have the experience to tackle this work. For me, it took me, like in 2012, I literally got on Twitter, and I remember so clearly, and I said, Atlanta nonprofits, #. And so I found 2 nonprofit organizations that I was really interested in because they had a lot of things going on. And so I began volunteering with those organizations. Okay. And so from there, I learned about structures. I learned about events. But I think if you want to get into this work, you have to get into the work. And you have to realize the capacity of the work. It's really hard work. It's heavy work. A lot of times you'll feel alone, like you're only doing it by yourself. And so I think it's important to just serve others. Well, even and I'm not even talking about a serving organization. Right. You want to do hair, you want to sell lashes, you want to do whatever, fashion design, whatever it is your intentions are, get into a space of somebody who's already doing it and provide them support in that area.
All right, so as we're wrapping up, we just have one last question for you. If you could talk to your younger self right in the beginning of that space where you were starting 3D Ink and your wheels are turning, what advice would you give to yourself?
Breathe. Relax. I think I was very, very hell-bent on just doing things. Right. Getting into the work without proper planning, without proper research, without proper education. Yeah. And I would just say breathe, kind of enjoy where you are in the moment, because right now I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I feel like I need to be, but I'm in a place of peace. Yes. And like nobody can take that away from me. So
girl, I feel your glow up. Like it's crazy. Like I feel what's coming. Like something great is coming. Like just seeing someone like that's growing right before your eyes, it's amazing to see, and I love it. I can't wait till you're like back on here talking about how you just started this program and your maternity house and everything is a success.
You're a star.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so let everybody know where they can find you.
Well,
on social media.
You can definitely always go online to www.3dgirlsinc.org. You are always able to access me on Instagram at 3dgirlsinc and Twitter 3D_girlsinc. And Facebook, of course, is 3dgirlsinc as well. And so all of our events, activities are updated on there constantly. So just check us out. If you work, if you want to volunteer.
And be consistent. I think that was the word with, getting with her organization. She wants people that are going to be consistent, reliable, and present.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right.
So go ahead, you guys. All right. So thank you so much, Raioni, for this live work. We love it. Everything that you're doing in Atlanta.
She even put the shirt on.
Yes.
Right.
Put the shirt on.
Yes.
All right, so I am T. Marie,
And I'm Dab.
and we have Raioni with 3D Girls Inc., and we are done. Aniko with Slight Work.
18 and pregnant, 18 and scared, 18 and excited, 18 and confused. Here I am in my college dorm room, unclear about where I'm going and more unclear about where I'm going after I had my baby. And here I am, a child, about to be someone else's mother. At the time, I didn't know anything about infant mortality rates. I didn't know that my daughter was 50% more likely to die during childbirth because I was a teen mother. I didn't know that in the future, my daughter would be 3 times more likely to be a teen mother herself. And I certainly did not know that I was among the 9 teenage girls here in the metro Atlanta area that would give birth each week.